And so, with heroin more or less out of the way as an issue, we ask, what killed Kurt Cobain? As we have proven rather convincingly, I think, in this program, in the last 17 weeks, it was not a big-bore shotgun that killed Mr. Cobain. Elsewise, his brains would have been scattered all over the floor of his greenhouse, but of course they were not. Was it irrepressible suicidal tendencies that killed Kurt Cobain? Well, likely not. As far as was known during his life, Mr. Cobain had no suicidal tendencies, nor did he have any Van Gogh-like neurological problems, and rather he demonstrated a rather distinctly discernible Fran Tarkington-like instinct for scrambling for survival, something that Kurt Cobain learned very early in life indeed. The heroin dose allegedly in his bloodstream at the time of his death, and I emphasize allegedly, has never even been a part of the official story from the medical examiner, though one might believe that this was the case from the media blitz associating Kurt Cobain with heroin, and the claims of suicidal behavior by Mr. Cobain also appear to have emanated from one source only. That is, the same source that seems that, according to my sources, leaked the toxicological results on his body. And that is, that source, often unnamed in news stories, appears to be only possibly Ms. Courtney Love. That is, she seems to be the only possible source for these allegations. That is, Ms. Courtney Love, the widow of Mr. Cobain and heir to his fortune, a self-confessed and publicly proven compulsive teller of tales, and, says one member of her family, quite homicidally inclined. In this case, I would say Ms. Courtney Love should never have been considered a reliable source by anyone on any subject, up to and including the time of day. Any day, anywhere, evermore. And yet here she is this week on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, which of course treats her as a reliable source on the subject of the death of Kurt Cobain, which of course I'm asserting there is plenty of reason to consider her outside of the pool of reliable sources on this subject, or as I've said, really any subject at all. And so it was not a heroin habit that killed Kurt Cobain, and it was not suicide. And it most certainly was not a shotgun that killed him. And so what killed Kurt Cobain? In the 4 months of producing this program each week, I have tried to resist temptations to engage in this type of speculation, but at this point let me venture into this territory just a little bit. The most plausible theory that I can entertain in this regard is that Kurt Cobain was a casualty of America's drug war. Those who killed him knew that the entertainment industry would not rush to his defense upon the occasion of his murder, because he had become more of a liability than an asset to the entertainment industry. His looming plans to divorce Ms. Love, reportedly, if they transpired in a contentious courtroom drama, say for instance over custody of his child, would have resulted in Mr. Cobain likely stating that he hated the narcotics user image pinned on him and didn't hold much affection for those in the entertainment industry who branded him thusly. In doing so, Mr. Cobain might not only have dealt a harsh blow to the narcotics trade. After all, Kurt Cobain, as the ultimate just say no crusader, in this context might have been quite potent indeed, far more so than a million gun-toting cops saying just the same thing. In the proper publicity context, Mr. Cobain might very well have attacked the record industry the way he felt they were attacking him. And we might well imagine, have gone into the record business quite successfully himself, as he is said to have intended to do. That is, set himself up independently in the record business, something which you haven't seen in print, I'm sure. Those who murdered Kurt Cobain knew that he would not be missed, not by the record industry, and they knew that the local cops, who also benefit from the flourishing drug trade, that is, the flourishing trade in hard drugs, could be counted on not to lift a finger to investigate his murder. Why, heck, just make a half-hearted effort to pose the body in a suicide pose, and they'll practically join in helping to conceal the crime. So might the murderers have thought, and quite correctly they assumed. And so while we haven't quite asserted what killed Kurt Cobain, we do, I think, know where he died, metaphorically speaking. Kurt Cobain was killed at a three-way intersection where Narcotics Street meets Law Enforcement Avenue at Entertainment Place. And so we do know metaphorically where Kurt Cobain was killed, and we might even say metaphorically that we know when he was killed. He appears to have been killed at precisely that time when he outlasted his usefulness to anyone other than himself, and perhaps we might say his fans as well.